Let's set up a brand new aquarium. All right guys, so for our tank build, we have decided to go with the Innovative Marine Fusion 15-gallon all-in-one. This actually is my first ever brand new tank. I've always gotten used tanks in the past just because I was being a little more budget conscious. But in terms of new tanks, this is gonna be the most budget friendly. The MSRP on this guy is just $120. It's already got the filter all in the back, as well as the pump. And the only thing you really need is something to put it on, a light, sand, rock, and water, and you're ready to go. So let's get this out of the packaging and take a look at it. All right, so this tank is made out of glass, and it's got this acrylic divider in the back. And then you've got the overflow here that goes into our filter sock. That travels into the back center chamber where you can put your filter media and things like that. And then into the final chamber where you have your return pump, as well as this nice little nozzle that lets you point the flow around to different areas. So the pump that this tank comes with is one of their branded pumps. It's 130 gallons per hour, and it's a DC pump, which means it's gonna be a little bit quieter than the older pumps. It's got this nice grate here that allows you to tune the amount of water flow that it pushes out. So obviously this is pretty much as closed as it can get, and this is as open as it can get. You can tell with these little plus and minus signs here what you're getting. It's got this little adapter to it, and because it's a DC pump, it's got this little connector here, which definitely makes it easier to remove the power supply when you're doing a water change or something like that. This is plenty of water flow for this 15-gallon tank. If you're looking to do a few SPS, you might want to add a power head, or if you have a denser rock structure, it might be a good idea to add a power head to get a little more circulation. But this should do just great for us alone, and it's really all we need for flow. All the Innovative Marines tanks actually have this nice little label here, so you can see it's 15 gallons. The dimensions are 15 by 15 by 15. That definitely has helped me in the past when I'm trying to figure out either a stand to put it on, what kind of light I need. I always forget the dimensions, so I really like that they include that. Overall, this is a pretty simple tank, but these guys work great, and I've actually got an Innovative Marine tank at my house that I really have enjoyed, and I even replaced one Innovative Marine tank that actually cracked with another Innovative Marine tank because they're so easy to care for and come in these really nice dimensions that work really well for a lot of different reef tanks. All right, so this is the manual, and it has a little diagram of the tank, and with this you can really see pretty well the back filter section. So you have your overflow section here. This is where the water first comes into, where you have your filter sock, and that's going to be your mechanical filtration, so that catches any particulates. Then you have this filter section here, and then you have this little blank space here that's open. Now, typically what I use that for is any sort of media blocks like Marine Pure and things like that, because they're able to sit there and it's an anaerobic zone. And what that means is that you have bacteria that lives there that helps to process ammonia, nitrite, and nitrates into nitrogen and helps to filter out the tank. And so that's usually what I put there. And then in this section is where I'll normally put my chemical media, any sort of GFO or carbon or Purigen, stuff like that, filter media that can help to remove any impurities in the water on a chemical level. And then obviously here we have our return pump where it grabs the water and pushes it out through that nozzle up front. All right guys, so with this series what we want to do is we want to take you through step by step everything that we've learned about setting up a tank and really explain what you need to know to get a tank running from start to finish. So with this tank, we chose this Innovative Marine 15-gallon because it's usually around the range of people choose. I would say the average first size tank is between 15 and 40 gallons. But in that range of tanks, you're gonna have very similar problems with having a smaller water volume and a lot of similar chemistry issues. So I think this is a good point to start. Also because it's very cost effective. Not only is this tank pretty cheap, but filling this up with sand and rock is gonna be a lot cheaper than a bigger tank where you're gonna need a lot more sand and rock. I like having a good amount of rock because if you don't do a lot of rock, it can look a little empty for one, but also that rock is going to be a lot of your biological filtration. And so if you're missing out on that biological filtration, you can run into issues, especially when you start to add a few more fish. So I'd rather go with a little bit of smaller tank, but have a little bit more rock in there, not only so it's a little more aesthetically pleasing, but also it's easier to maintain and take care of, especially for a starter tank like this. This Innovative Marine tank is also a lot easier because it has this all-in-one section in the back. And what that allows us to do is not deal with any plumbing or anything if we were to have a sump, which is the typical filtration that we have on our systems here. And what that is it's like a little tank underneath your regular aquarium that houses all your filtration and equipment. So things like a heater, a return pump, a skimmer, things like that that help keep your water clean aren't required because you have it all back here. So that removes a lot of the risk of flooding and things like that. Plumbing also can be a little bit complicated. So this removes all of that hassle and really streamlines the process of getting the tank set up and ready because it already contains all the plumbing inside of this little back section. And there's a lot less risk to things like flooding because there isn't another section lower than this where the water can flood to. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this quick introduction to our new series on how to set up a reef tank. We'll have more videos out soon on filling this tank up, getting a rockscape together, selecting livestock for this tank, and a ton more. This is going to be a 20-part series where we go through everything you need to know. If you guys enjoyed and want to stay up to date, make sure to subscribe. And if you guys want to check out some of our other videos, we'll have one right here for you. And you can also shop our website, and let's put that one on my face. Yeah, awesome. Okay, and I will see you guys in the next one.